Payne Stewart's tragic death brought an end to an incredible legacy, one that is hard to put into words. His dramatic victories and the way he evolved as a player made him truly special. He had a style and a presence that set him apart, and his impact on the game will never be forgotten. No one will ever quite match what he brought to golf, and his legacy will continue to inspire for generations to come. His tragic death in a plane crash back in 1999 left an indelible mark on the world of golf. It wasn't just his untimely passing that made the event so heartbreaking, but the way it unfolded. The plane, flying for hours with no one on board, added an eerie, tragic layer to an already devastating situation. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board determined that the plane failed to maintain proper cabin pressure, which led to everyone on board becoming unconscious due to a lack of oxygen, a condition known as hypoxia. This happened as the aircraft was flying just west of Gainesville, Florida. Despite the fact that the crew was no longer able to control the plane, it continued on its flight path, guided only by the autopilot. The plane kept flying like this for several hours, eventually running out of fuel. Without anyone at the controls, the plane finally crashed into a field near Mena, South Dakota. It was a heartbreaking sequence of events, as the plane flew on without any human intervention, ultimately leading to the tragic crash. Stewart was more than a player. He was one of the most iconic figures in the sport, known not only for his talent, but for his dramatic flair. Every time he stepped onto the course, it was like a spectacle in itself. The 1999 U.S. Open at Pinehurst, No. 2, will forever be remembered as one of the most emotional and dramatic wins in golf history. On the final day, Stewart was in a tight battle with a field of competitors that included some of the best in the world. But it wasn't just his swing that captivated everyone. It was his raw emotion, his passion, his energy, and the sheer will to win. Stewart made a memorable 15-foot par putt in the final round, which clinched the victory and beat Phil Mickelson by a single stroke. Stewart later said that his calmness and belief in himself, which grew stronger through his deepened faith, helped him make that clutch putt. To honor that unforgettable moment, there's now a statue of Stewart celebrating his winning putt, placed just behind the 18th green at Pinehurst Resort's No. 2 course. What made Stewart's career so compelling and so unique was the way he managed to mix the competitive fire of a fierce golfer with the grace and humility of a true sportsman. In the heat of competition, he could be hot-headed and occasionally show frustration with his game or the way things were going. Yet over time, Stewart became a model of growth and transformation. He evolved from a brash, fiery competitor into someone who embraced sportsmanship and grace. This growth didn't go unnoticed. Fans, peers, and critics alike recognized how Stewart had matured. He started to show a new side of himself, one that was less about just winning at all costs and more about enjoying the process, respecting the game, and showing kindness and encouragement to others. Another significant part of Stewart's legacy was his ability to embrace and adapt to golf's international nature. In an era where golf was dominated by certain countries, Stewart made it a point to play and win in different corners of the world. His victories weren't confined to just the U.S. They spanned continents, showing his versatility and his passion for the game, no matter where it was being played. Among the most notable of these was his strong connection with links golf, particularly in Ireland. Stewart's affinity for links courses was clear. He embraced the challenges and nuances that came with playing on these unique and often difficult courses. In fact, Stewart's success in Ireland became one of the defining parts of his career. The Irish crowds adored him, and he felt at home on the links courses, winning tournaments that many players find intimidating. But it wasn't just his success that made Stewart so beloved in places like Ireland. It was his respect for the game, his love for its traditions, and his genuine connection with the people that made him a fan favorite across the globe. Stewart's journey to becoming one of golf's greatest players started in Springfield, Missouri, where he was born and raised. He attended Greenwood Laboratory School, which was located on the campus of Missouri State University. From there, he took his talent to Southern Methodist University in University Park, Texas, where he played collegiate golf. However, his path to the PGA Tour wasn't straightforward. Despite graduating from college, Stewart didn't earn a PGA Tour card right away. Instead, he played on the Asia golf circuit for a couple of years, proving his skills and determination. In 1981, Stewart made his mark internationally, winning 2 tournaments, including the prestigious Indonesia Open, where he triumphed in a thrilling playoff with 3 other players. His success on the Asia golf circuit eventually led to him earning his PGA Tour card for 1982. That year, he won his first title on the PGA Tour at the Quad Cities Open. It was a particularly emotional win for Stewart because it was the only time his father, Bill Stewart, was able to witness him win. By 1983, Stewart had become a more consistent performer, winning his second PGA Tour victory at the Walt Disney World Golf Classic, where he triumphed by 2 strokes. But not every year was filled with triumph. In 1985, Stewart came agonizingly close to winning several times. At the Byron Nelson Golf Classic, he led by 3 strokes heading into the final hole, only to lose in a playoff to Bob Eastwood after Stewart made a double bogey. Later that year, Stewart came 1 stroke shy of winning the Open Championship, finishing second to Sandy Lyle. 1986 was another year of near misses. Stewart briefly led the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills, but a couple of bogeys derailed his chances, and he finished tied for 6th. Despite not winning that year, Stewart had a stellar season, posting the most top 10 finishes on the PGA Tour with 16. It was a sign of his consistency, and in 1987, that consistency finally paid off when he won the Hertz Bay Hill Classic, where he shot an impressive 3rd round 63 and a final round 65. It was a duel for the ages, with South African golfer David Frost, who was in 2nd place, finishing a full 8 shots ahead of the 3rd place finisher. This win was especially meaningful because Stewart was playing on his home course in Orlando, Florida, where he lived just adjacent to the Bay Hill course. In 1989, Stewart's career really started to soar. He claimed his first major victory at the PGA Championship at Kemper Lakes Golf Club. It was a dramatic final round, where Stewart overcame a 6-shot deficit, making up 5 strokes in the final 3 holes. His back 9 was a masterpiece with birdies on 4 of his last 5 holes. Stewart's win was made even more memorable by the heartbreak of Mike Reed, who had been in control before a bogey on the 16th hole and a double bogey on the 17th handed Stewart the title. The following year, Stewart made history by becoming the first player to win back-to-back titles at the MCY Heritage Golf Classic. This victory marked his first career playoff win, having lost all 5 of his previous playoff appearances. Stewart's 1990 season was stellar, with another win at the GTE Byron Nelson Golf Classic and a runner-up finish at the 1990 Open Championship, which helped him climb to a career-high number, 3rd in the world golf rankings. In 1991, Stewart claimed his 2nd major championship, winning the U.S. Open in a dramatic Monday playoff with Scott Simpson. It was another nail-biting finish, with Stewart closing the gap over the final 3 holes after Simpson faltered. Later that same year, Stewart would win the Heineken Dutch Open, and the following years saw him claim more international victories, including the Hassan II Golf Trophy in Morocco in 1992 and 1993. In 1993, Stewart made history again when he carded a remarkable 4th round 63 at the Open Championship at Royal St. George's Golf Club, tying the record for the lowest round ever in the tournament at the time. By the time of his tragic death in 1999, he had earned nearly $13 million in career earnings and was consistently ranked among the top 10 golfers in the world. He had represented the U.S. on 5 Ryder Cup teams, playing with passion and pride. He was also known for his distinctive style, which included wearing NFL team colors as part of his sponsorship deal. Stewart's legacy in golf will always be remembered not just for his victories, but for the way he played the game, with passion, heart, and a deep respect for the traditions of golf. He was a true champion, both on and off the course, and his impact on the game will never be forgotten. And that's a wrap for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an update. See you next time. Bye.